Hi, it's Tracy from Two Rocks Tarot, and yes, it's been a while since I've been on, and as you can see by looking at me, I am sick again. So the reason I'm sort of making this video is because a lot has happened. So it's kind of like a wrap up, but it's also like a health update, and it's also a warning to those of you who, like myself, who have got a very high pain tolerance, because it can literally cost you your life and you don't even realize it. So to start with, this is going to go right back to the 15th of December. And the reason why I'm so precise with the date is because I had an appointment with my oncologist. So he's been trying to find me along with a monthly hormone injection, a tablet to stop the cancer from spreading, just to give me, a better, a better chance at a longer life, I suppose. But what's happened is, as you know, in previous videos, I've said that I had very bad reactions. Of the first reaction that I had to the first lot nearly killed me, and then I had a second reaction. And then on the 15th, I said to him, I don't feel very well. I just been sweating a lot, been waking up and I'm sweating, and I'm talking about, I didn't even think I could sweat on the left side of my body since I had my lymph nodes removed. So I was sweating, and he said, it sounds like you've got some type of infection. I'll give you some antibiotics. So he gave me some antibiotics, and I just was feeling very weak, and I couldn't see, to put it honestly. I was like I was blind. It was getting worse. So I was just sort of getting worse and worse. Christmas Day came, and I wasn't going to go to Christmas celebrations because that's how sick that I felt. But I seemed to rally up a little bit, and then the following week, I just seemed to be getting sicker and sicker, and then I've been having a blood test. So every week I get a blood test, and it gets sent to my oncologist so he can keep track of where I am. And I said to Aaron, I said, look, I can't even see. Everything's like a blinding white. It was like, and I was really, really weak. And Aaron said, no, you need to have your blood test. I'll drive you up there. And I'm in the drive is like not even 5 minutes, but I knew I wouldn't be able to make it. So I had my blood test, and 9 o'clock that night, there was a phone call, and I thought, oh, bloody, and I was in bed. I thought, who the hell's calling? So I just hung up. I just cancelled it. And then I realised there was a voice message, and I thought, it might be my dad, so I better listen to it. And it was my oncologist, and he said to me, your kidney has shut down. You need to get to hospital now. Don't wait for Wednesday. And I thought, oh, shit. So I did that. So I went to hospital, and he actually phoned ahead or faxed a letter and said that, to expect me. So I went in there, and this is in January now. So we're sort of are we in January or not? Well, very, very much towards the end. The dates are all over the shop, and you'll understand why in a minute. So I ended up going into hospital, and they put me on a drip straight away. I had very low blood pressure. It was like 90/40, so they had to give me adrenaline shots to keep me going. And I also, they thought I had sepsis as well, so they thought I had another infection, which I did have an infection, but it was underlying to what I've got now. So I spent a month in that hospital. So the entire January I spent in hospital, but for 4 days, and they let me out, and I started to feel faint again, and I nearly passed out in the shower, and I my head hit the door, and the door flew open, and then I had to sit on the floor, and then my husband had to try and pick me up, and I said, look, something's not right, take me back to the hospital. I ended up going back to the hospital. So maybe it was, so I went back to the hospital, and they're giving me these, all this, antibiotics, which give you diarrhea. I'm talking about explosive diarrhea. So you're going like up to 10 times a day, and they refuse to give you tablets to stop it, because if it's an infection inside you, they want to get it out of you. And then anyway, I had a scan, and all my lymph nodes in my stomach were like exploded. That's exactly what my oncologist said. So he said 3 months ago, I had a really good scan. It showed up to 70% shrinkage of the cancer in my groin. My neck had gone down. It was a positive result, he said, but now he said everything is all over the shop, your whole lymph nodes. And I noticed that I was getting incontinent, and I thought, Jesus Christ, I'm not even 58 yet, and I'm incontinent. But what happened was that my my spleen and my liver was swollen, and my spleen was like 6 to 7 times the size of what it was. So I looked like I was 9 months pregnant. I kid you not. Now I'll just get up and I'll show you what it looks like now. It's a lot better. It is still swollen, as you can see. So I'm about 4 months now. So words like like lymphoma were being sort of tossed around. The trouble is with the hospital, the first hospital that I was in, it's more like a Band-Aid hospital. So they there's too many doctors and different doctors looking at you with different opinions, and they'll keep you on the antibiotics. They won't let you, despite having your stools taken for testing and nothing's been founded, they were of the opinion that they needed to, whatever was wrong with me needed to be expelled. My oncologist did visit me in that hospital, and he said that, we nearly lost you. You're very close coming to death. Surprise, surprise. This is like the third time now as it's happened to me, so nothing really surprises me when he says that. So I was very, very close to dying, because I was in the intensive care unit. Like I said, they were giving me low adrenaline to keep me going, because my blood pressure was so low. That's why I nearly passed out in the actual shower. And one of the doctors, who was an older doctor, said, yeah, that is one sign of low blood pressure, is when you're like blind. Literally, it's like, when you're in a dark room and you walk outside and the sun is really bright and you can't see. Well, that's exactly what it was like for me. I just couldn't freaking see. So so after that, they couldn't really, they said, one doctor said, no, you haven't got lymphoma. It's, and I had 2 biopsies while I was there, and they come back inconclusive because I was on steroids. And the steroids can muck up the results. So I ended up having a 3rd biopsy. This time my oncologist, he wanted a bigger, and it was taken just in the line of your leg, just below my to the right side of my vagina. That's where they took it out. They took out a big chunk. And then I got transferred to another hospital called Charlie Gardner's here in Perth, which is it's not world renowned, but it's the best cancer hospital that you can go to. It's renowned for its cancer treatment. Okay, so bear in mind, I spent a month in hospital where they haven't been able to find out what was wrong with me. They were tossing around that if it was my breast cancer or it was lymphoma, which is another type of cancer. I got there on the Saturday, and I saw a hematologist, and he come to my room, and he said to me that, I'll have a look at all your notes. And I said, well, make sure you take a sandwich with you, because my file is like that. And he laughed, and I was twitching, like I couldn't stop twitching. And he mentioned lymphoma again, and he said, just by looking at you, like because you're twitching, and I was cold and everything like that. So anyway, I got there on the Saturday, and then on the Tuesday I got the diagnosis that yes, I have got lymphoma. So I have got another type of cancer. So I'm literally fighting 2 cancers now at the same time. So lucky me, hey. But I was only there on the Saturday, and the Tuesday they already found out what was wrong with me, like straight away. So I was relieved. Now, going back to when I had that first very bad reaction to the tablet that my oncologist put me on, I saw a hematologist. Now, she's actually the boss of the entire hematologist in Charlie Gardner, and she was the one that saw me there. And she said to me, when I saw you back then, which I think would have been about May last year, she said you did not have lymphoma. So we are thinking now that this came up in the last, I'd say, 4 months, because it would have been 4 months ago at least now when I had the scan and everything was fine in my body. And then when I had another scan, everything was like, all my lymph nodes are like all over the shop, they're all blown up. So hence that's why I was incontinent, because my stomach was so swollen, it was pressing against my bladder. And I didn't know, like I was just soldiering on as I do. And that's what I mean. It's really hard when you got a high pain tolerance, because you can just get sicker and sicker and sicker and not realise it, and then freaking nearly die. And then they come and say, you nearly died, and you think, like what sort of thing. I didn't feel that bad. Like I was still aware of everything that was going on. So just be very wary if you've got a high pain tolerance. So unfortunately, I've got the lymphoma I've got is a nasty one, and he actually said that on Saturday about he said, what do you know about lymphoma? And I said, well, not really much. He said, well, there's not just one type, there's about 30 different types of lymphoma, would you believe? And he did mention the one I think it's, T-cell or something like that. So I think he already knew on the Saturday that I had the nasty one, just from looking at me, right? So that's what I've got. So I've got one of the nasty ones, but because it's only come up in the last, I'd say at least 4 months, it's 3 to 4 months, they've caught it early, which is the main thing. So as you can see by my head, I've already had 2 lots of chemo. I had to go and get a PICC line. This is what a PICC line is, into my arm, and I'll show you a picture of what my arm looked like when I got into the hospital. And they were pretty horrified when they saw it, because I put lots of cannulas in, and because my veins are shit from my last sort of chemo that I had when I had breast cancer, it's really, really hard to find a vein. So what they do is they get like an X-ray machine, and they try and find a good vein. But I've noticed this, because I can see it all, when they put the needle in, my vein is like, it jumps away because it's so stuffed. So it actually jumps away. So it's really, really hard. And the reason I didn't want to get another PICC line in was because I got septic poisoning when I had breast cancer. After I had my mastectomy, my PICC line was infected, and when they gave me the antibiotics, it went through my whole body. They're not the antibiotics, the anaesthetic to put me to sleep. It pushed the whole, disease, sepsis through my body. And I was very, like one doctor said, because I live in Two Rocks, he said if it had happened while I was home, I'd be dead. So there you go, there's another nearly dying story. So I didn't want to get that done, but my veins were shot, and as you can see from my arm, like it was just ridiculous. So I ended up getting that put in. Even when I was in the last hospital too, the one staying for a month, I actually had one. There was a different one that they put in my neck where they could give me all my antibiotics and things like that. So that was interesting. I've never had that before, because I wasn't too keen on that, but because it's very close to the jugular. But anyway, I think that's probably still a little bit of a bruise, as you can see there from that particular one. So I got the PICC line put in, and this is what I mean about because they kept saying, sorry, are you in pain? And when they're looking for all the veins, and I said, no, I can't feel it. When it comes to put the PICC line in, they said, all right, we're going to have to give you some anaesthetic, and it's going to sting like a beast. I said, okay. And I felt the needle, and I said, have you done it? He goes, yeah, I have. I've given it to you. So I didn't feel that. And it's quite interesting, actually, when you're doing the PICC line. It's like a portable X-ray machine. It's about that big. And it comes across, and it sits across where you're getting your PICC line put in, which is my left arm. See, they can only use my left arm because I've got lymphedema in this one. So you can't take blood, have your blood pressure taken or anything out of that particular arm once you've had a lymph node clearance, okay? So, and then what they do is they, because the original PICC line, it wasn't quite long enough, and so what they do is what you call is rethread it, so you can watch it. So you watch this thread come down, and it stops right near your heart, because it needs to go there when you have your chemo. It needs to sort of go towards your heart, so your heart can pump it all throughout your body. So that was really interesting. So I was watching that. Other people probably couldn't, but I learnt a lot actually being in hospital for nearly 2 months. It was that was very interesting. Now I'm going to show you the reason I stayed in most of February. I stayed in hospital as well because I got very, very swollen. So as you can see, these are my feet and my legs. Have a look at that. I had fluid around my heart. I had fluid around my lungs. So I was actually 95 kilos, and that was all fluid. So they gave me this a medication that gets rid of the fluid, and I actually had to have a catheter put in because you're just peeing constantly to get rid of the fluid. Frusemite, that's what it's called. It sounds very German, doesn't it? Frusemite. So I had that to get rid of all the fluid, and that took quite a while to come down. Even my even this arm was swollen too. It took a long time. The reason too was, well, one of the cannulas up here, the vein just shit itself, and all the medicine went underneath my actual into my skin. So that took a long time to get rid of that as well. So I was 94 kilos. So now I think I went down to 70. So I've lost a lot of weight. I probably look like I've lost a lot of weight, and I know I have, because I've looked thin, and everyone's kind of worried about it, and I'm kind of happy because I look like I used to. But I realised that I am a little bit too thin. So I've managed to get up to I think I'm 73. So I'm trying to get up to 74 to see how I'm going. How I go. So I had my chemo. This is a really brutal chemo. Okay. I took my crystals with me straight away because I knew from last time how much they helped me, so I didn't have to, and the doctors are absolutely fascinated in that. They all asked me about it. So I took my crystals and didn't affect me. I've noticed with this particular chemo, on about the 4th day, I get a little bit queasy, but I have got anti-nausea tablets. I've still got some left over from the first time, and they've given me some new tablets. So I take a tablet, maybe 1 or 2, and I'm fine. This one is a 3-weekly chemo, so it's not a like every fortnight, so which is fantastic. I've had my second lot of chemo, and I think I'm due on the 26th of March for my third lot. It's a 21-day cycle, so I'm not too sure. I still reckon it's about a couple of months worth or something like that. So the goal is to put me into complete remission, which I hope and pray that it does. I really do. My oncologist said he was going to put me on he found some type of immune therapy. So what they do is when there's no cure for your cancer, they'll look for trials on immune therapy and stuff like that. But because I'm actually having chemo now, he said that that's actually going to help the cancer, so I don't have to have my monthly hormone injection or anything until I'm actually finished this treatment. So after this third lot of chemo, or the 4th, I think it might be the 4th, I'm going to have another scan and possibly another biopsy. It all depends on just how I'm going, I suppose. So of course I'm taking medication. Not a lot of medication actually for something you'd think you'd be taking a hell of a lot more. I take a tablet to stop me getting shingles, because apparently when you're getting treatment for cancer you can get shingles. I'm taking one for my stomach, multivitamin tablet, vitamin D. My normal cholesterol one they have stopped. I don't take any blood pressure tablets now whatsoever. I always had high blood pressure. I don't take any of that, and I don't take the blood thinners either. So I don't know if I will later, because the reason I was on blood thinners, I did get a blood clot in my chest somewhere, I think. I also had so many blood transfusions. Like I felt like a freaking mosquito. I reckon I must have had at least 8. I probably look a little bit pale because I had a blood test. Today is Sunday. I had a blood test on Thursday, and she rang me up, the haematologist, and reckons that I could use another bag of blood because my hemoglobin was 79. Usually when it's 80, they're happy when it's 80. And I said, well, I couldn't get to the hospital because Aaron is away on business. He comes back tomorrow. So I'll have to go back tomorrow and have another blood test and see. And if it's still got lower or anything like that, I'll go in on the Tuesday and have another blood transfusion. But I had so many blood transfusions in hospital. I also had a sticky platelet because my platelets are low, and that actually looks like a bag of fat in the bag. It looks freaking horrible. And because of that, have a look at my legs. Look at the rash on my legs. Yeah, that's how red it got from the platelets, because they pushed through the skin. So I was covered in that rash. It went right up to my chest. Finally, the chest is gone. You have to excuse me not wearing a bra. I've lost that much weight that my prosthetic is too big now. I'm going to have to. I'm actually due. I actually got a voucher. I'm actually due to get a new one. So. I'll have to get a lot smaller now, because this is my boob that's left is just nothing there anymore, because I've lost that much weight. So I just can't wear a bra anywhere. So I've been wearing loose t-shirts, and at home it doesn't matter. So yeah, so I got a lot of a big rash, and that was itchy, and it's just freaking annoying. So then I got out of hospital, out of Charlie Gardner. And then I had to come in to get a blood transfusion, and they noticed my temperature was 38. So when your temperature hits 38, you have to go to hospital, because you can get really, really sick. So they kept me there, and I ended up staying another week at Charlie Gardner. So I spent really the entire February of but a couple of days again in hospital again. And but what I actually had was a UTI, believe it or not. And I said, God, I've never had one in my life. But I've been thinking it might have been from the catheter. But then they said it was a unique one that they haven't seen before. Like, you know, if I would be a millionaire if I had, how many times doctors have said that they've never seen this before. It's just incredible. So I didn't have, and again, I didn't have any symptoms. I didn't feel hot. I wasn't in pain. The only thing I noticed was that I was getting up every hour to go to the toilet, but there was no burning sensation or anything like, because I know my mum used to suffer terribly from it, so I know what she went through. I didn't get any of them symptoms at all. So this is what I mean. If you've got a high pain tolerance, for God's sake, be careful, because you can literally die. Because you don't feel anything, you know. It can be good in one way, like you don't feel stuff, but it's not really. So this is supposed to be a brutal chemo again, what I've gone through, but I don't feel it. I don't know if I will, because I've only had 2 lots, but I know the first 2 lots knocked me off my feet when I had breast cancer, like something chronic, and the final 4, my God, I was in so much pain. I had, like, you know, every bone in my body felt like it had a heartbeat, and no matter what, you couldn't stand up, sit down, lie down. It just was going whoom. It was just so freaking painful. I can't even describe it. And that's coming from me. And I had a lot of painkillers, and they just weren't doing anything. I was having my husband's that he has for his back. I was having bloody Tramadol. Nothing worked until when I told my oncologist, he got I was having a needle, I think 24 hours after I had the chemo then. They give me a needle now, but it's just to boost up my immune system. And that's the 4th day after chemo. I just inject myself. It's nothing now. I give myself needles all the time. So, and I feel fine. So even though right now I should probably have another blood transfusion, I probably will on Tuesday. I'll have to go in and have one. I feel fine. I'm eating like a horse. I can't stop freaking eating, and I don't know if it's just because my body is trying to rebuild itself after it's been through. So I end up sort of tend to have 2 breakfasts now in the morning. I'm just always hungry, which probably a good thing, because it's nothing worse when you can't eat. And it's quite interesting because the first lot of chemo, everything made, even water, tastes like salt. I don't get anything like this with this particular chemo. Food just tastes normal. I just find that I don't like sweets. I just like savoury, but I'm kind of like that anyway. I don't really crave sweets, but you know, every now and again I like a chocolate. But no, everything's like savoury. So last night it was like 5 o'clock, and I was craving a pork pie, and they got good pork pies up at the local IGA, so I went and got a pork pie. It's just really funny. So that's what I've been doing. I've literally just been in hospital the entire 2024, bar a few days. I feel good. I know I look very pale, but that'll be fine once I get my bag of blood again. I'll be fine. But I don't know for sure if I'll need one. Because usually when you need a blood transfusion, you can't stay you can't stay awake. You're that tired. So, you know, kind of like the eyes roll back in the head and you're asleep. And when you wake up, you don't feel refreshed at all. But I've been napping, like if I have a nap, I might have a nap now for like an hour and I feel fine. So, you know, I take my temperature every morning and every night to make sure that I haven't got a temperature. That's crucial. You've got to do that. So it's not the 2024 that I wanted. So now I've got freaking a lymphoma, and of course I have to have the bad one. But I still don't feel like it's my time to die. I've nearly died 3 times now. I mean, the first lot of cancer could kill me, the breast cancer. The sepsis could kill me. I just, yeah, there must be something I'm here to do. That's all I can think of. Why am I here? I mean, maybe it's to beat this particular nasty cancer so I can give other people hope, and I really, truly, truly hope that that's what it is. I just don't know. It's been very, very stressful on my husband, like, you know, because he's still, you know, he's looking after me and still working. He's thinking of just cutting his working days now after the financial year this year to 4 days a week, so he can, and just work from home full time now so he can be with me. I have to say, Charlie Gardner's, when it comes to explaining how, like, when the first time I got cancer, you didn't really get. I mean, they got this, the Breast WA, and it's a Jane McGrath, who was a cricketer's wife, who said that every, you know, cancer should have a cancer nurse. Well, I didn't get that with the breast cancer, really. I did get some money, which which went to getting my lymphoma treated, and this arm, which is now it's too small. I need a new one. I need a new one. So I'll probably organise that through the Charlie Gardner Hospital. But when I got diagnosed, they just kind of printed out all your you know, what can happen to you, like the, you know, the side effects and stuff. But they didn't really explain everything. Whereas this time around, a nurse sat down with me and we went through everything that can happen, the support that I can get, which I didn't even know about the first time round. So, and then we both signed it, and they started with my mouth care, because I had ulcers in my mouth, so it was really hard to eat again for a good 2 weeks, because they were like in a circle around my tongue and the roof of my neck and the sides of my tongue, so it was really, really hard to eat. But they started off with the mouth care straight away. They gave you a big bottle of like salt water, so you rinse your mouth. Every time I eat now, I rinse my mouth out with that, and brush your teeth, and then you have and I haven't had any problems with ulcers, and I'm on this chemo, which is really good. They also got a occupational health and therapist to come out to our house to check out our house, because I was that week when I first got home, I needed a chair in the shower because I couldn't actually stand up, and I needed like arms over the toilet. So even though I've got a disabled toilet, I couldn't push myself up, you know, off the seat. And they organised that, and they also organised a handrail to be installed in our shower, all free from cost. And I had a walking stick for a little bit too. I think I had a walking stick. I think I got rid of the chair in the shower and the walking stick and the one over the toilet about 2 weeks it took me, because she was really surprised at how quickly, but I'm not one to fuck around, like, you know, I didn't want to be like that, you know. But the handrail is in the shower is really handy, because it's quite slippery, our tiles, so we can at least hang on. And my husband's got a bad back, so he can use that when his back plays up. So that was all free of charge that they'd done that. And I didn't know that. Apparently I can get fuel vouchers or taxi vouchers if I can't make it to an appointment, because it's a 2-hour round trip, Charlie Gardner Hospital from like, so Joondalup Hospital is only like 30 minutes away, but Charlie Gardner's is really far away, so it's like a 2-hour round trip. But they are the best. You know, they've got their own blood bank in there, so when you need a blood transfusion, you have to get a cross match. Now, it's another thing about me, I've got very weird type of blood, so I'm B positive, but they give me O because I've got some type of antibodies in my blood that are very, very different. It's a different type of blood, so it's got to be cross matched all the time, because I have had a reaction once before to a blood transfusion. So yeah, I've got different type of blood. Maybe this is what makes me strong, and I'm going to, you know, and I'll beat, because I've got no, like, I'm still positive. I'm you know, they told me I had it, and I was relieved to know what it freaking was, for one thing. and and I'm just going to beat it. That's all there is to it. I've got no doubt that I'm going to beat it. I'm just going to. I've got too much to live for. Hey, I've got too much to live for, and I still feel if it was my time. Everybody says that you kind of know when your time's up, and I just don't feel like my time is up. I really don't. There's so many times that I've nearly died, that I should have. If it was my time up, I should have died then and there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's my time at all. I'm quite well. Like, I'm not well, because obviously you can tell by looking at me, I look like shit. But I can do the washing now, hang out the washing, do the dishes, stuff like that. At least I can help Aaron out a little bit, because it's been so stressful for him, like really, really stressful. I really feel sorry. Why on earth did he have to have a wife that gets cancer after what he's been through with his daughter, who celebrated her 30th birthday? So she had, his youngest daughter had, I think what I've got actually, but at 2, can you imagine that? And she celebrated her 30th birthday, so that's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with me. Last night, as far as tarot comes, I have got some new decks. And last night I actually edged a deck, and I modified another one, because I actually edged it, and then the bastard of a texture, it bled through. You could see it all in the white borders, so I cut all them off and edged that, and that was fun with 2 cats, I tell you. So I'm starting to get interested in the tarot again, because I really haven't touched it, other than pulling a daily card on my phone app of the Shining Tribe, I think it is. I always forget the name of the thing. Is it the Shining Tribe? Yeah, the Shining Tribe. So I have an app, pull a day a card on that. So it's been a real roller coaster. So really, I've been fighting this shit disease since 2021, and now I've got a second lot of it. But I'm very grateful that they found out what it was so quickly, and that I didn't have it, like, it hasn't been lingering for a year. It's only just happened in the last few months. So that, and I've already had 2 lots of chemo and on a treatment plan and everything like that. So and what else did they? They even got a social worker to come out to see if if Aaron can get like a carer's payment. But we don't qualify for anything like that because he earns too much. So but we might be able to get she encouraged me to get a disabled parking permit, because she said, well, you might be all right now, you're going to have days when you literally cannot walk. And it's true, I can't walk like long distance at all. Like, I haven't been for any walks for so long, and I really miss it. I was tempted to try walking around the block, but nah, I know I haven't got that in me yet. So just pottering around the house, I'll just build up my strength like that before I actually go for a walk, and I'll make sure Aaron's with me, because just in case I fall. So all these things I never heard about when I had the breast cancer, but with this hospital, they, it's amazing, and I've even had the Leukemia Foundation ring me up from Queensland to see how I'm going. It's just, the support is absolutely incredible this time. It really, really is. And I'm not one that really goes for support. It's quite interesting, because there was a counsellor, and I've never been to a counsellor in my entire life. Even though when I suffered from depression, it's not something I was interested in. It's just not me. But I actually had a couple of sessions with him, and it was quite good. My daughter was absolutely thrilled, because she's right into that sort of thing. And it was good. And it wasn't really talking about the cancer either, because I don't think about the cancer. It's quite funny. I know some people can really dwell on it constantly. That's all they think about, their mortality and stuff like that. And of course we put our affairs into order, made a will and all that sort of crap. But I don't think about it until I have to go for an appointment. So like, I'll go and get my blood test, but I still don't think about the cancer. I just get the blood test to keep the haematology department happy, the girls in the chemo ward, and to see if I need another blood transfusion. So I don't think about it until I have an appointment. Do you know what I'm saying? So even though I know I've got a scan coming, and scans are really, what do they call it? It's scantitis. You get scared when a scan comes up, because you don't want it spreading or anything like that. But the one, my neck on this side was very, very swollen. I've got a completely normal neck now. It's just, yeah, it's quite amazing. She says still got a little bit of a rash, but that's kind of normal for my skin. I think that's just sun damage from over the years. So I just don't dwell on it. I really don't. So we didn't really talk about that. And then one day I was just, what was I doing? Getting up to wash my hands or something in my room, because I actually had my own room because I was so, actually I'm going to show you the view. How beautiful is that from my room? They had to keep me isolated because, you know, you've got no immune system. And I just looked up and there was this just not nice looking man in there, and I said, oh, hello. And he ended up being a pastor of all things. And so we ended up having a conversation. It was quite interesting, and he was, we're just talking about it. I said, no, I'm actually, you know, I'm a pagan. So, and he said that him and his wife were actually watching the supernatural so they could understand more other people's beliefs and the different gods and everything. It was a really interesting conversation. He was a lovely man, and he's been doing it for 34 years in that hospital. So that was another thing that happened. I just find now that I seem to talk to everybody now, which before I never did. I just strike up a conversation, which is something new for me. So yeah, he was really, really nice, and I thought that was really great that he was actually doing that with his wife, you know, opening up his mind to other things. I thought that was terrific. It's certainly changed, hasn't it, since, well, not that I grew up with religion, but I had friends that grew up with a very strong religious upbringing, and it didn't look like fun, that's for sure. So that's where I'm at, fighting 2 cancers. I'm going to beat it, believe you not. And as always, I'm always welcome to prayers and everything that you send my way. I'm very, very grateful for that. I will be doing more content again on my channel. I don't know what or when. I mean, I've got some really nice decks that I can share with you. So I'll probably do that, just do a couple of that. I'm actually, what is this now, 36 minutes. I'm actually not tired. I did do a Pets in Spirit message for one of my dear friends, and that really tired me out. So and I wasn't sure if it was going to work because I haven't done one. I haven't done one for like a couple of years, I don't think, because they went quiet, and of course they went quiet because I was ill. I know I needed to concentrate on myself. So, but they actually went better than I thought. I was very, very surprised. So yeah, content-wise, I'm not really sure when I started up. I mean, I just thought I'd better do an update because it's been a long, long time, and I know people have been wondering what's happened to me, because I did put a note that on my community page that I had got cancer again, or still, I should say, but I feel okay. I really do. I'm not as, of course, obviously, I do tire a bit more easy, but I do take it easy. Like the occupational nurse said to me, like, even though you can do things, you know, make sure you take a 10-minute break, and that's actually what I'm doing. I do take a break. I'm going to have lunch again because I'm starving, so it's going to be the 3rd time I've ate today, but I think that's a good sign. I think that's just my body trying to, you know, recuperate, getting back to being healthy. I'm very mindful when I'm putting in my body too, again, which, you know, we kind of do anyway. Aaron and I, we eat pretty good. So that's what's been happening with me. Not the start of the year that I wanted to have, but you know, I'll get there. I'll beat this again, and that's it's like there's no cure for me. Like, I will never be completely cured, but never say never. Hey, you just don't know what's around the corner. You really don't. With cancer treatment has come such a long way. So, but the goal, I said to her, well, there's a goal to, because I didn't really want to ask if this was going to kill me, but she said, no, the goal is to put you into remission and to stay that way. So let's pray that it does. That's what I'm hoping for. And I can't even say hoping, well, that's just going to happen. Okay, I just don't think it's not going to happen. It's just going to happen. So I'll leave it at that. And yeah, and as far as shooting videos, when I feel like shooting one, I will. And yeah, and I'll thank you now, because I know people are going to say, you know, send me their love and and prayers, and I'll thank you all for that. Now, this community on YouTube and what I get on my Facebook as well, which I have made private, has been wonderful, and you can feel the support. You can actually feel you just feel it. I don't know other way to say it. And I said that to the pastor. I really feel sorry for people who've got no spiritual beliefs whatsoever, because my spiritual beliefs have really just, I don't know, taken away the fear, I suppose. I just don't, I don't know. I think it's a lot harder for people who've got, who don't believe that there is anything on the other side, or they've got no gods to support them, or angels, guides. I just think it would be really, really hard. And of course, not having a partner as well who supports you and everything. It's just, it must be so hard. It must be so hard. And having all of you, I just feel like I'm supported in a network of love, and I'm supported. And like the doctors, when they'd come in, because I was so close to dying, and they'd be surprised at how quickly I'd pick up. And I said to them, I've got a good spiritual team, and I've got a good doctor team as well. Like I do everything they tell me to. Whatever I need to do, I do it. So even though I'm going to be doing some crystal healing on myself and my stomach to try and get that down, I just really marry the two together. So I'll take whatever poison I need to get in my body to kill what's inside me, but I'm also doing spiritual work, crystal healing and all that to support it. I'm not one that's, I mean, some people, they decide not to do the chemo, and I don't understand why. I know it's poisonous, but it's the only way it's going to kill what's inside you. It truly is. So anyway, we'll leave it at that, and I thank you for watching this rather long video, but I just wanted to put it out there that if you've got a high pain tolerance, for God's sake, go to the doctor earlier than you think you should, because it quite literally could save your life. So take care, everybody, and I'm sure you'll see me later on, but yeah, I'm not pushing myself to do anything content-wise right now, so if I feel like shooting a video, I will. So take care. Bye, everyone.